Alright, so I'm just going to go through a real quick introduction to PLCs here, why we use them, why they are such a useful tool for us to use in the field, a little bit about how they work, how they function, and some of the benefits of them. So I've drawn here a tank with a float switch at the top and a float switch at the bottom labeled A and B. Now, if we were going to design a program to run a pump to fill the tank, we would want the tank to start when the level got down to B and then run until float A was satisfied. Okay, so we would put A as our stop circuit and B in our run circuit, and then of course our holding contacts. Okay, if we changed our process and now we wanted to have that same pump empty the tank, A, which used to be our stop device, is now going to become our start device, and B, which used to be our start device, is now our stop device. Okay, they're also gone from normally closed devices to normally open devices. So in the field, if we had to do this using standard motor control circuits, we would have to change the way that float A was wired, right? We'd have to go from the normally closed to the normally open contacts, and then we would have to change the connections within the starter, the box that the starter's in or whatever, in order to get that different function to happen. The beauty of a PLC is that once you've built your PLC program with all of the elements, instead of changing connections, all you have to do is change which instruction references which address. So if you were gonna, I'm just gonna kind of go through here. We'll just label all the components. So you'll have your motor. The actual coil on the motor starter is output 001. The set of contacts on the overload block, let's say, is input 001. Our holding contacts coming back from the motor starter are wired to input 002. A is addressed to or connected to input 003, and this one is input 004. Okay, so when we build our basic PLC program, if we wanted to fill the tank, well, our overloads are input 001. So filling the tank, A is going to be our start, or sorry, our stop. So we're going to put this 003. Our starting device is input 004. Our holding contacts are connected to input 002, and then our output, so the output card, the one that actually provides power, terminal number 1 is feeding power onto that motor starter coil. Okay, and if we wanted to change this to now empty the tank, all we would have to do is go into the program, change this to address 4, this one to address 3, and change the instruction from an examine if closed to an examine if open. So it's a matter of a minute. You can totally change the way that program operates. All you have to do is go in to your program and edit those two instructions, and the whole function of the circuit is different. The other nice thing with this system, if you want float A to set off a high level alarm, you can put another instruction and address instruction number 3 to To turn on a warning light, you could have another circuit only work if A is filled, and again, go into a whole nother ladder logic program within the same PLC. Include that address. You can include this address that's connected to the input from this top float switch in 100 or 1,000 different programs, and each one of those will still be looking for that action to happen. So a PLC gives us that expandability, the adaptability that we could be using as we change processes. And that's just kind of just a real quick brief rundown of why we have them, how you change the way these programs function, the way they operate. One of the nice benefits with them. When you are doing your labs in class, once those PLCs are connected to your motor starter, you never have to change the connections to the motor starter. You can leave that thing wired just the way it is, and you can make all the different motor starters operate however you would like. Okay, as long as you're using the same components, you never have to change the connections on them. So again, that's the overview of PLC programming and how we adjust them and why they are so helpful.